Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another Etheria restart video, and today I'm going to give you my top 3 tips for how to push content and progress your account fast in Etheria restart. And these tips are coming from me, somebody who spent the first 2 days of this beta at work all day, hanging out with their family. Like, I have not been able to know life this game like some people have, yet I've kept pace with most of them, and I want to show you how I did it. Now, first tip is the most obvious tip. It's the Hyperlink Charter. Anybody who's doing this type of video is telling you, come in here, look at what the Hyperlink Charter is telling you to do next, and that should be like a goal. These are milestones for your account to hit, and by doing them, you will just naturally get stronger, and you will get access to like big time rewards like shadow prints, Etheria coins, which you're going to need a bajillion of. This is an obvious thing to do, so I'm not going to spend much time here, right? Do what this says, and if it's too hard for you to do what this says, that's when the rest of the tips come in line. Like, for example, in my module modification, Nightmare 1 Doki Doki is the next thing I have to like accomplish, and Nightmare 1 Terramaton. Those unlock at account level 25. So by account level 25, you want to try to be ready for them. That's hard because those fights are tough, especially if you're an idiot like me and try to prove a point, not pull Tiamat. You should pull Tiamat. She's great. Back to the video. Anyhow, let me give you my other tips, and I want to start with the Animuses. I'm going to take my camera off the screen so you guys can see my layout. I have been insanely lucky on my pulls at pulling a lot of late game power. Heinrich, Lily, I have pulled, I kid you not, 3 Messiahs and 2 Shadow Sonyas. I can't even level them all because I don't have the materials. In fact, I'm already too spread out. But my biggest tip when it comes to characters is something I was wrong about. I thought Dorothy would be a good enough healer to get you to day 7 to Ling Luo, and I was just wrong. If you're trying to push content as fast and efficiently as possible, as soon as you can move off of Dorothy to something better, I suggest that you do it. And by better, Sonya is legitimately 1 to 2 entire tiers better of a healer than Dorothy. Straight up, she is just better. And if you have access to an SSR healer, as soon as you do it, pump them in there, man, because like this girl Dorothy just ain't getting the job done, especially if you need to be like background farming. If you need to just have most of the things that are like happening for you during the day happening without you paying attention because you're like at work or dinner or something, get off Dorothy. She just can't do it. The fact that she scales off of like attack made building her in the early game kind of weird. I think later it wouldn't be such a problem, but who cares about later? You're gonna have Ling Luo to replace her anyway, so move off of Dorothy. That's like one of my first big tips. Sonya has been great. Any other SSR healer has been great. Go check out a tier list. The other SR healers are probably better than Dorothy is. Okay, so that's my first tip there. Now my next tip, this tip is what you should be farming in the background and why you should be farming it. The number one thing you should be farming is in the module drop. It's Terramaton hard 3. Let me get, like, you see, I put it above my face. Hard 3 Terramaton. You can't do Nightmare until you hit level 25. But hard 3 will give you access to a lot of this yellow tier gear. This is gear that's actually worth investing some levels into. In fact, I'm going to do a whole video on like how many levels you should invest into kind of like what tier of gear. That's a whole separate video. But farm Terramaton at hard 3 and farm Doki Doki at hard 3. Right now, I can literally only 1-star Doki Doki on hard 3. Doesn't matter. I background farm this all the time. This is a hard fight, man. This fight is tough. If we go look at the team that I'm currently using to do this, you will see the kind of like modifications I've had to make to my team. I'm essentially running a 4 what's the earth element called? Hollow element team to get that bonus. I select summon Real Mucha, and that was, man, I do not regret that choice at all. She has been so clutch coming in here and helping me beat this fight, and farming this fight's a big deal. And then Heinrich, who's my best character, I'm using him. So I have my OP character, I have my select summon, and then I'm using healing and Chiaki the Echo. That's going to be my next tip. And that tip is not just a Chiaki the Echo tip. Let me back out of here for a second. Let me throw my camera back off the screen so we can look at characters. Okay, if you have Chiaki the Echo, build Chiaki the Echo. Even if you have Animuses, in my opinion, like Lily, who's going to like outscale her down the line, like once you get Lily's Dream Trick leveled up and she's like resetting all skill cooldowns and all that stuff, I think Lily outscales Chiaki the Echo. But early game, man, this pure just like turn meter pushing that Chiaki is doing for your team, like it's crazy, man. All allies turn meter boost by 16%. Having Chiaki the Echo be the first character to go on your team and then just boosting everybody on your team in front of everybody on the other team is good for PvP. It's good for PvE. Such an early game monster is Chiaki the Echo. And manipulate the turn speed. Like that's, if you feel like you're leveling up your characters and you feel like you should be able to beat some fights, you probably are just getting lapped too much by the enemy, or they're just, you don't have the gear, the speed in your gear to go fast enough. Get people like this. Find people who can manipulate the turn order and run them. Especially if you have Chiaki the Echo, man. What a beast of an SR character. And there's a really good chance that a lot of you who aren't named Zoxakun, who somehow hasn't pulled her yet, have this chick. Use her, man. Use her. Easy. She's easy. Just make her the fastest as you can. Give her some HP so she doesn't die, and let her play her violin to boost your team. So your number one goal, in my opinion, before reaching account level 25 is farm yourself some hard 3 Terramaton and hard 3 Doki Doki, so you can start replacing your blue and purple modules with these yellow modules. Now, this is not the one you see on the screen right here is equipped this way on purpose as a counter example. I think the yellow stuff is worth taking to about level 12, and only purple stuff I would take to level 12 is stuff that like rolled really well or has a main stat on it that you really love. But I'm going to do a whole video on this. The TLDR is you're going to need some epic tier level gear to beat the nightmare level missions for the upcoming bosses. And you're going to just need a bunch of it because it's RNG. You're going to need good main stats on your 3 right side pieces of gear. And then the left side pieces of gear, you're going to just need, really you need the double onslaught or double speed or whatever, and just hope for good substats. But really this right side in the early game, getting this main stat correct is a big deal. And I'm literally going to do a whole video talking about this right after I'm done recording this one. So guys, those are my big 3 tips. Follow the Hyperlink Charter, farm as much Terramaton and Doki Doki rank hard 3 as you can, get off of Dorothy as soon as you can to a better healer, and then I guess there was a little bit more than that. Chiaki the Echo. Bonus tip number 4, use Chiaki the Echo if you got her. Those have been the things that I've experienced trying to push as hard as I can in the first 2 days. I hope those are good tips for you. I will do a whole video on like early progression when this game goes live. I will kind of collect all of my thoughts here and then, maybe give an outline or something. Thank you all for watching. Check out my gear guide that's coming out here in just a little bit. Peace.